Support for Outdoor Nevada comes from Land Rover Las Vegas and Jaguar Land Rover Reno, proud to help introduce a new generation of adventurers to the diverse experiences that our state has to offer. Information at lrlv.com or jlrreno.com.
Nevada, a landscape as diverse as it is epic, where wide open nature and wild adventure call to the curious and the brave alike.
Our hunter of the day, Clayton, brought all of that. Let's see if he brought some good luck too.
Oh, I hope so.
It's an early morning in Overton, Nevada, and I'm out hunting for ducks.
Okay, I gotta see this. Will you show me around?
Sure.
Oh, this is the coolest. Let's go.
I visit a very smart house in the middle of the Springs Preserve.
This particular trail is what I call a potpourri trail. It has a little bit of everything on it that you could ask for.
All trails lead to adventure and discovery at the Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area.
One last look at the beach. Goodbye, everybody. We're going under. People look at Tahoe from the top, but they need to see it from underneath, don't they?
It's an extraterrestrial world underneath.
And I dive deep into Tahoe's crystal clear waters. I'm John Burke. I have a passion for the outdoors.
Today we're in the Valley of Fire.
And I'm on a mission to show you the one-of-a-kind history, science, nature, and adventure you find when you step outside. This is Outdoor Nevada. If the early bird gets the worm, I'm hoping to leave Overton this morning with a duck for dinner. First stop is registration. With us, Doug Nielsen from the Nevada Department of Wildlife and our hunter, Clayton Stewart.
Doug, what's the average hunter bring out here in a morning like this besides a warm pair of socks?
They're going to be carrying, obviously, their shotgun of choice and the shells for that. Whenever you're hunting waterfowl, it's got to be non-toxic shot. And then some of them will bring decoys. Depending on what they're hunting, they'll either bring ducks or geese or a combination of the two.
And a dog. You got to have a dog, right?
You know, a dog, not everybody has one, but a dog makes a lot of difference when it comes to birds, especially on the retrieval process, because number one, that's what they're bred for and they love to do it. And but it also makes your hunt a little more successful, right?
Well, our hunter of the day, Clayton, brought all of that. Let's see if he brought some good luck too.
Oh, I hope so.
Looks like we have all our decoy ducks in a row. Let the hunt begin. The sun is finally out, and we try to keep ourselves warm in this hunting blind.
Guys come out here early to get their spots. How does that whole system work?
Well, it is. You know, they have to check in an hour and a half before legal shooting time, and that's to make sure that, number one, everybody with the reservation is here, and then if there's some no-shows, people who don't happen to have a reservation then can come in as a standby.
How many spots are out here available?
It's in excess of 30 blinds when you take into consideration pond blinds, flooded bulrush checks, and then some field blinds. One of the big things is we use an assigned blind system so that you are assigned a specific location, you're expected to hunt there. And the blinds are located so the fallout from the shot won't endanger another hunter.
Duck hunting season runs from early October until the end of January. Hunters must have state and federal stamps on their licenses.
And what about if you shoot? How many can you shoot? Is there a limit to that?
Yeah, there's a limit every year. There's 7 birds. So, and that bird configuration varies from year to year.
Clayton has been hunting in Nevada for 21 years and duck hunting for 10. He's also a professional photographer and artist.
When did you first get into duck hunting?
Well, I first got into duck hunting probably when I was about 19 years old. My family's always been into big game hunting. My dad took me out, probably about 19, and showed me the ropes, and then he never wanted to go out with me again. So, kind of a miserable sport unless you really, really love it. So kind of found a passion for it.
Clayton's experience is not getting us any dinner, so we might need to step up a notch here and bring in the king of duck calls, me.
You're gonna place your top lip right here, right in the middle, bottom lip below, or basically just press the bottom lip right against there. And you're just basically gonna talk into it. So you wanna use your throat, kind of come from the gut a little bit, so you're gonna make like a rumble. So you're gonna basically talk. So a lot of people just go, you don't wanna just blow, you wanna talk into it. So you're gonna go wee, wee, wee. Beautiful. You sound better than him over there.
Clayton's not having much luck this morning, and since I'm experienced now that I've been out here about 2 hours, he's put me to work.
Oh, here we go. Just kidding.
Overton is part of the Pacific Flyway migration corridor. Birds start their journey north in places like Alaska and British Columbia. When they get to Nevada, some move west to California and others fly through Overton. The mallard is the top species found by Nevada hunters.
Tell me what you like about duck hunting.
I just love being out here, honestly. I mean, you've seen so far today, we've had one set of birds come in on us and it was during an interview. So it's a very, very slow day. So you just have to love the little things, the sunrises, those little pink clouds in the sky, and just being out here, and that's pretty much the best thing about it.
I know you have a young son. Do you hope that when he's old enough that this is something he'll pursue as well?
My son, last night I actually said to my wife when I was looking through social media and saw a picture of my cousin and his boy, they just shot a rabbit the other day. I looked at her and I said, I can't wait to do that. And you know, it's really is. I'm just counting down the days until I can bring him out here and make him miserable in a duck blind too.
Duck hunters often pass their passion on to the next generation. This loyalty helps keep it alive, and these hunters help fund Nevada's conservation efforts.
So it's the end of the season. Chance is that maybe you don't get a duck today, but even if you don't get one, what kind of day have you had being out here?
I've had a great day. I'm never a morning person. I hate getting up in the mornings, and everything I do requires me to get up in the mornings. But once I'm out here, you know, even when there's no birds flying over or anything, it's a day when you get to see some of the best creations there is. And so it's not wasted, that's for sure.
After an early morning, a cold bench, and an empty hand, I understand the thrills of the hunt, even when there's no prey.
Well, no ducks for us today, but as Clayton and Doug will be the first ones to tell you, anytime you're outside, it's a great day in outdoor Nevada. I know, it's called Outdoor Nevada, and we're outdoors all the time. But here at the Springs Preserve, just outside of Las Vegas, outdoors and indoors combine to make one very smart house. Come on, let's take a look.
Sometimes preserving the outdoors starts indoors. That's the case with a very smart house built by very smart students.
This is Aaron McAuliffe, and he is the curator of exhibits here. And Aaron, tell me about this fascinating structure.
Sure. In 2013, University of Nevada, Las Vegas competed in the U.S. Department of Energy's Solar Decathlon competition. It's a competition that the federal government has every other year that invites schools from around the world to create a home that is very sustainable, in this case off the grid or using solar energy, one that's very, very marketable and desirable to consumers.
So we're not talking about just a few solar panels. I mean, they really thought this through.
They really did. Everything is off the grid. So for example, the home itself produces energy by solar panels on the roof. It has a series of other panels that take the energy from the sun to warm water that could be used for the radiant floor heating for the winter time to keep you warm, and they're also for the washing and the laundering that you would need to do in a home.
Okay, I got to see this. Will you show me around?
Sure.
Oh, this is the coolest. Let's go.
More than 60 UNLV students, 20 faculty, and industry consultants designed this home. Students served as general contractors, framers, and engineers.
Let's start with the outside. Tell me about that.
Sure, the exterior of the home was made from reclaimed snow fence, so basically fence that was used along the side of the road to catch snow drifts. Over time, the rancher might need to replace that, so it was basically left over for that purpose and recut for the purposes of this home and put on the exterior.
How long did it take them to design and build the house?
At least a couple years. And then after the competition, we probably looked at about 6 months or so to prepare it to be permanently installed here at the Springs Preserve.
Wow, this is really stylish. This wasn't really what I was expecting at all from the outside. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's a really contemporary home. They did a really nice job of using the kind of interiors that I think a lot of people prefer in their homes today. And they also use a combination of other less traditional items. So for example, the kitchen table there is also made from the same materials as the reclaimed snow fence. It was just a little bit left over, and the benches from the snow fence, the table as well.
The kitchen almost has a Jetsons feel, or a futuristic yet retro feel at the same time.
Yeah, it's very, very contemporary. It's the kind of home that you might see maybe in a mid-century modern home that was designed in the 1950s and 60s here in the desert Southwest.
Approximately 40% of the energy consumed in the U.S. goes to powering commercial buildings and homes. This 750 square foot home serves as a display to change the way we see and utilize our resources.
What would be the purpose of owning a home if this were mass produced like this? Your bills are lower, less use on the environment?
Absolutely. And in fact, UNLV created this home as a home that could be marketed towards people looking for a second home. Personally, for me, it's large enough for a primary home for my needs. But for someone who might want a second home, they basically created it in such a way with the idea that you could move it to wherever you are in the desert Southwest. So to that end, the home itself is built on 2 chassis. So I like to think of it as an early form of a mobile home. And then right in the middle of the home, just right by the bathroom, the 2 chassis are joined. And then after the home is moved, the decking is put on, the window boxes are put on, and we have the home that we're in today.
Desert Soul works as a prototype, completely off the grid, which means it doesn't depend on any public utilities.
I think we are looking at the future with mass-produced homes, particularly the homes that could have a very basic platform and then are customized by an individual homeowner. If you were to go to a mobile home supplier, you would get the basic home, and of course you're adding on all the various different options. Same idea here. This home doesn't look like your typical mobile home, but there's also a movement to take old shipping containers and turn those into custom contemporary homes, and those are very, very exciting as well.
Does it come with a mailbox?
No, but I'm sure if you were to purchase a home, you could probably talk the builder into making you a mailbox.
Do they have a price if this was to be produced, what this house would go for?
Sure. As far as I know, UNLV is still running the numbers on that. Last I heard, they felt that this home could fit in the maybe $300,000, $350,000 price point, but that's this particular home, which is the prototype. So as you start mass producing them, the prices will start to plummet.
Tell me about the windows and their design and purpose.
Sure. Basically, the windows are all dual pane windows, which is something that I hope everybody has at home anyway. A dual pane window is going to keep the heat inside during the cold months and the cold inside during the hot months.
Obviously, if you move the house somewhere, water is going to be an issue depending on where you go. The sun, however, is available to everyone, right? And that's one of the benefits of having this home.
That's correct. So you could basically have this home create your own energy with certain modifications to be self-sufficient. Other ways that you can hook it up to the grid and feed into the grid and perhaps make some money back.
Super cool. Let's look at the rest. I want to see the bedroom.
Sure.
Solar energy is the only fuel source. The house also features low-flow fixtures and an outdoor deck screen that filters the sun in the summer.
I hope we're looking at the future, because this just has a feeling like we're going in the right direction. This is good for the environment. It's certainly good for the pocketbook. So, Aaron, thank you so much for letting me peek down the road and see what things might be like in the future a little bit in housing. Thank you so much.
And you're welcome. Thanks for coming out today.
Desert Soul was designed to be an extension of the Mojave Desert, and it represents a new way of how mankind interacts with its own environment. It's nature and science combined for a better and more sustainable future.
Who knows what the future holds, but thanks to some really smart students at UNLV, we just might have a say-so in how we interact with the environment.
Everyone knows that there's lots to do in Las Vegas if you're an adult or you're inside, but what if you're a kid or a kid at heart, or you just want to get outside? I got the perfect place for you, the Red Rock Conservation Area and the Children's Discovery Trail. 17 miles west of the Strip and a world away from civilization lies one of Nevada's most magnificent sights. Red Rock Canyon is the perfect setting to enjoy the Mojave Desert on foot. Kate, hi.
Hey, John.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you today.
This is Kate Sorum. She is a park ranger here at the conservation area. Kate has been a ranger here for the past 18 years. What is it you like about this trail?
This particular trail is what I call a potpourri trail. It has a little bit of everything on it that you could ask for. It's got birds, bugs, flowers, flora, fauna, geology, cultural history. It's just got a little bit of everything Red Rock has. It's a great trail for kids. It's just under about a mile round trip.
Oh, this is just a great way to get outside and just enjoy yourself for an afternoon, isn't it?
It is.
Along the trail, 9 signposts mark this journey into nature. Each sign has a detailed description flagged on the brochures from the visitor center. Give me just an overview of the conservation area, Red Rock, because it's beautiful. It's one of the most spectacular places, I think, in the country.
It is. It's what we call a jewel for the Bureau of Land Management. It is just under 200,000 acres. The core area, which is what we're in now along our scenic drive, this last year broke over 2 million people visiting. We are open every single day of the year, including Christmas and Thanksgiving. Although we do have shortened hours on those days, we're open all the time.
You've been at this job a long time. What do you like about it?
What's not to like? I get to come out, I get to take hikes, I get to identify plants and animals for people who are unaware, I get to meet people from all over the world. I get to teach kids and help the new generation understand and have an appreciation for the area, because they will grow up to be the protectors.
Okay, Kate, I'm guessing there's a story here. Where are we?
So we are standing in a wash, or as the kids will put it, it looks like a dry riverbed. So basically what it is, it's from the water from the higher up elevations after it rains and various snowmelt could potentially come down here. This is an area where you could potentially get a lot of water, so most of your flooding that could occur, and people don't think it's been full, and it has. I've seen it full. It's quite an amazing sight. So a lot of the rocks, if you look around, we've got the La Madre Mountains, which is limestone, so that's kind of our old geology, in the back and in the middle there, covered in nice white snow. And then on either side of us, we have our sandstone bluffs of the Calicos. And then if you look down here on the ground, again, we have large sandstone boulders that are a beige in color, some are in red, and some of this limestone. So the limestone comes from that upper elevation. So limestone is older than the sandstone. So as I described the kids, we are an upside down Oreo cookie. So we have the gray in the back of the limestone and the gray on the bottom. So those would be your cookie crusts on either end. And in the middle is your creamy filling of sandstone. So an upside down Oreo cookie.
I want to get some
they
snacks.
Get it.
Red Rock Canyon was hundreds of millions of years in the making. The red cliffs of Aztec sandstone were colored by exposed iron oxide.
So here to my left we have what's called the scrub oak, Quercus turbinella, and it does get little bitty acorns on it. There's a couple of caps, so it's a good food source for a lot of the little animals in the area. And then here to the right is what we call manzanita, Arctostaphylos patula. And you'll notice the leaves are kind of leathery feeling and they're thick, so that's an adaptation to help it prevent transpiration so much. And then it also has an interesting adaptation as far as the leaves go. They will follow the direction of the sun, because plants want to keep in the desert, they want to keep as much moisture as possible and not evaporate or transpirate that. So the margins of the leaves will look at the sun and they'll turn as the sun turns.
Oh, that's fascinating.
So if it wants to warm up, it'll lay a little flatter. If it wants to less water, it'll be more on the margins.
Super cool. Native vegetation of the Red Rock Conservation Area can withstand the most deplorable conditions of the Mojave Desert. The canyon teems with life all year round.
So this is an area we have that's potentially a rock shelter from when Native peoples were here. It protects you from the wind and the rain coming in, protects you from the breezes that are coming through. It's also an area that, when you look, you can find the dark spots. That's where the fires would be for cooking and so forth. There are pictographs rather here in the corner. Got hatch marks and what looks like 3 fingers. The kids think it's somebody with a mohawk holding up the number 3.
So it's not a petroglyph, it's a...
Pictograph. So pictographs are painted in comparison to a petroglyph, which would be pecked into the rock.
Any idea what it's saying and how old it is?
We do not know what it says. They're all very cryptic And then as far as time and years, they could be anywhere from hundreds to thousands of years old. So 2,000, 8,000, kind of varies throughout the areas in the canyon.
The canyon was once home to the Kawazu people and an essential trade route for Native Americans. During the 1800s, pioneers also used Red Rock Canyon as a landmark on their journey west.
How many miles of trails in the conservation area?
We have 19 approved trails and about 100 miles.
Good, so you and I can do this again on another trail?
Yes,
All
meet you
right.
here tomorrow.
I'm coming back. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Really
Thanks
appreciate
for
it.
coming out.
The path is called the Children's Discovery Trail, but it unfolds knowledge and adventure for all ages.
You know, I was thinking, I'm outdoors a lot, but there's sometimes I don't want anything too intense. I just want to get outside, have a nice peaceful walk and clear my head. And if you've ever felt that way, then this is the spot for you. And that's the great thing about the state of Nevada. You get outdoors, and there's always something for everyone.
Lake Tahoe. You may have seen it from the shore, but until you've gone scuba diving here, you've only scratched the surface.
Everybody's seen Lake Tahoe, but to really get to know it, it helps to interact with it on a different level. And that's why today, I've got my buddy Chuck Weber here from the Tahoe Dive Center. Come on in, buddy. How are
John,
you?
how you doing?
We're gonna do a little dive today?
Absolutely. You're going to be turned on to an experience that is absolutely phenomenal.
Chuck Weber has been scuba diving all over the world for almost 30 years.
Why do you like it so much?
Because I love to fly underwater.
That's awesome. Now, Tahoe, obviously, Lake Tahoe, has a reputation for being clean and the visibility is good. Is that true?
Absolutely. We've got a consistent 60 to 80 feet visibility year round. It's a beautiful, pristine place for classes and students.
When most people think about scuba diving, they think about the ocean. But Lake Tahoe has the thing divers cherish most: visibility.
And here's what I find surprising. You do this year round.
Correct?
It gets a little chilly, doesn't it?
Well, between November and May, we wear dry suits. Okay? Then the lake starts warming up again, we can start diving wet again.
Do we care about the elevation and the change in altitude when it comes to the diving?
But basically, we have to compensate for altitude a little bit, and there's a theoretical depth. For example, if I were to take someone 100 feet, theoretical depth for sea level would be 130.
I see, so there's an adjustment.
At over 6,000 feet of elevation, the atmospheric pressure of the lake is less than that at sea level, so divers have to be extra careful.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a gear bag today, and we're going to go collect some cans and trash, whatever we're going to find. We've been cleaning up trash all summer long out here, and we've actually extracted probably about 20 pounds worth of stuff out of this cove.
Which is a good lesson. We should reiterate. If you bring it in, take it out.
Exactly. Well, unfortunately, some boaters, kayakers, they think they can leave the can in the water and it'll go away and disappear. Of course, as scuba divers come along, it's like, okay, now we got to pick up some trash here.
I'm a man on a mission, ready to immerse myself into the mysteries of North America's second deepest lake.
I'm going to have you put on this BCD. We're going to go through a little orientation on it.
BCD stands for?
Buoyancy Compensating Device. So here's what happens. We're putting a 7mm suit on you. We're going to go down, play in the water. And about 10 feet, that suit's going to start compressing. And guess what? We need to compensate for that suit compression by adding air to the BCD. We want to be neutrally buoyant. We want to be swimming with the fishies. That's pretty much the BCD. What I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to go ahead and assemble the kits for us, okay? And we're going to go dive.
Awesome.
Soon enough, I've got an air tank, a 7mm wetsuit, fins, and of course my BCD. Once we get in the water, all my gear suddenly gets very light. And the only thing broader than the 12-mile wide lake is my smile.
All right, one last look at the beach. Goodbye, everybody. We're going under. People look at Tahoe from the top, but they need to see it from underneath, don't they?
It's an extraterrestrial world underneath.
Once we're under, I can immediately see why diving in Lake Tahoe is so popular. We stop off at some markers that are spaced 10 feet apart. I can see to the 6, which means 60 feet visibility. And unlike the Caribbean, this water's shark-free. But we're not the only ones out swimming today. The place is teeming with crawfish. This sunken barge is probably almost 200 years old. You can tell by the square nails. One of my favorite moments is swimming through a surreal tunnel made of granite rocks. Chuck's right, it's just like flying. And I didn't forget my cleanup job, but Chuck's got this section of the lake looking spotless. Well, almost. I mean, I did pick up this soda tab. I could stay in the water exploring the cove for hours, but unfortunately the tanks are getting empty and we have to return to land.
Chuck, that was awesome.
Isn't that cool, man?
That was awesome. And you know, it's not the salt water, so it's different. It's diving in a lake. And,
Yeah, so
you
we
just
don't have to
feel so
rinse our
clean.
gear after we get done, unless
Yeah.
we get sand in it.
Tahoe is an amazing lake and a unique diving experience. As the 5th largest lake in North America, there's an endless amount of underwater sights to see.
You know what I say? If you've never dove Lake Tahoe, put it on your bucket list.
Exactly.
And if you've done it, do it again.
Exactly.